Okay. I gotta start off by saying thank you, God. I gotta say it, and I need to calm down. First of all, I want to say that I'm surprised I'm able to articulate myself. Um, I have to be thankful. I know what I'm going through can be very frustrating because my brain is being manipulated and thought process are being manipulated. But to hear this purpose, and as horrible as what I'm going to go through, but the illusory of human beings they are, and how stupid they have to stoop to, and to how low they have to stoop to. I know right now, they tell me I'm going to be framed. I'm going to jail. I'm going to be framed. They're going to stash some drugs. They're going to do something, some kind of nastiness. Now that gives you an idea what kind of fucking retards these people are, what kind of people they are. That alone should just make you understand what kind of individuals they are, right? But they try to say in a way that's just mistakeful. It's like I'd rather die in jail. I'd rather die in a hole. I'd rather die in a hell than having to have lived a life where I dedicate my life in this level of retardation. It is so bad. The reason why they're saying that is because they try to deflect. Not to say that that's not gonna happen. I do believe that they will frame me. But let me just say why they are deflecting to make me think in this way. God is so good. The reason why they keep saying that is because they want to move away, or they want me to be they want me to identify with the manipulation. And the thought process are being changed and manipulated for me to accept this. It's getting so low and so pathetic in the way they want me to identify with this pedophilia things that it goes into what they can hold on. I keep bringing up this joke. Let me repeat that. In high school, I'm a 16, 17-year-old kid. I'm in the cafeteria. Somebody comes and he's like, oh, this guy is a crazy guy. He said this thing. And they say, old enough to pee on it. I was like, what? I started laughing. This is crazy. Now, for me, I looked at it as like, this is insane, absurd. And I started laughing about it. I was like, I'm going to find a way to use that because it's as dark humor as it is, as absurd as it is kind of comical. Mind you, I have a dark humor in the first place. And you talk about me, 17-year-old. 2-3 years later, I finally get a chance to repurpose that. My friend says something and it's like, oh yeah, old enough. And he's like, oh. So I use that to insult him. But throughout the whole process, I was thinking, okay, how can I use that? Like it kept coming back in my mind, like how can I use that to make, to be comical, right? Try to find ways if I say it like that and if I say it like that. Now this trash, because the content of this comical phrase, at least that's how I took it, right? Is, it's a little, it's a little absurd, right? They're like, no, but I see you heard that, and when you heard that, it felt like it was you, and like, oh, this is, and they're making me really think this way, like, oh no, that's just like you. And they truly are forcing me to think, oh no, you can relate to that. It is so, and my brain really tried to, sometimes I say this thing again, it's like, oh my gosh, this is what they think I'm going to relate to. But they're clowns. You hear this perps using this mystic voice. When I say that, it's so cringy. Because you can clearly hear them trying to make me identify with this version of reality that is so real. But they talk like that, no, you did. And then they start talking about they're going to torture you this way, as if what they found was just a disappointment, just makes sense. And now you see at this. I am so thankful that in my life, as a human being, as a functioning person, that I didn't find myself out here trying to use that and retwist this thing around, because what's happening in my brain, they have the capability of manipulating the thought process. So they're changing the narrative of what and how I experienced whatever I heard, what I was thinking about when I heard, how I went to utilize that to something else, like, oh no, it's like me. Oh no, And they have these clowns that try to box in this retardation. Now I hope I have to maintain calmness because I love speaking about how stupid they have to be. I truly do. It's like an excitement to just even talk about it. Because they are pure clowns. And I don't think they understand how clown-like they are. Because the whole ecosystem is on that level. I don't think they understand that you are truly a human retard at this point. And I'm sorry for the language, but they become human clowns. To twist the story up, because the truth is today, I can't even say that disturbs me so much because they do these things with kids in my head. They force me to have this disgusting thoughts about children. That is so disgusting that even me saying this thing, that when I was a 17-year-old, heard that and then made fun of my friend using that. Because this at the time was a benign something of okay, this is so absurd. But today, this absurdness is in my brain continuously implanted in disgusting ways. This loser of trash, they actually work for governmental entities where there's issue of pedophilia, are utilizing this joke, this phrase, this comical phrase I heard as a 17-year-old kid, then say that to my friends as like a young adult to make fun of him as a way to validate themselves, when I can tell a bill called End National Defense Network Abuse Act, where these entities are filled with so many pedophiles that only child porn using the DoD computers provided to them by the DoD, the network given to them by the DoD, using the same computer system to download child porn. So much of it that a bill was prompted in 2019 to try to limit the amount of child porn they were downloading. And you have these clowns to be like, no, you're gonna sue you, you're gonna die. I don't think they grasp how stupid and childlike they are. But my brain is on that same level. They can alter my thought process to change in these different ways. And there's nothing I can do. They know that. But I will articulate the retardation and the reality of what they're in. Whatever ways they make me think. Now, to deflect from how stupid this sounds like. And I will of course not identify with this nasty manipulation. And they're like, no, that proof. Nah, that's it, that's proof. I'm like, God, dude, thank you, God. They have no shame. And I don't understand how they can be so shameless toward themselves. Don't you respect yourself? They try to sound in this mistakeful way, you're gonna do this, but we got proof. I was like, yeah, let me imagine. And National Defense Network Abuse Act. Huh. You do have proof, right? Clowns. Talk about a 17-year-old hearing a joke in the cafeteria. Or an absurd phrase that he took it as, and they're like, oh, we got proof. I'm like, God, please live life like this. And they talk about how I'm going to be tortured in these horrible ways. I'm like, listen, if you think that's what's going to help you, if you think that you're going to be less retarded, as bad as I'm going, I'm sorry, let's go. You'll see nothing changes with you. Matter of fact, things are probably going to get worse for you. Clown ass. I'm glad I'm here for you. I'm glad I'm that person for you. Because I'm so happy to put that in your face. I don't have no problem to humiliate these bottom feeders. If this is provoking, that your trash as are working for governmental entities, there's so much pedophilia issue. And you are like, ha ha ha, that was a funny joke, huh? No, that's proof. Oh my God. They do this pedophilia type of torture. It's well documented they do that. So all they try to do is to find things to hold on to take and play around, manipulate, and be like, that's you and map, that's proof. I'm like, oh gosh. This is me being condescending to them here. Because they're like, we are at war. Really, you are at war. Your war is here. Please look at yourself like, I'm going to war right now. Let me go be retarded. Those are the perps. The perps are interacting with me via voice to call. Via voice to call, they say these things, but they try to sound very mistakeful. There is no mistake. Matter of fact, just imagine having this technology that can pipe in voices. Somebody, the individual piping those voices, try to sound in just like a very serene voice, but they're saying the most retarded things you can imagine, but saying it in this way. And you're like, oh my gosh, I know who's talking to me. It's like a childlike retard, like a person who's just like, you look at him or her like, you guys are just, man, bless you, continue to live this blessed life, like this. Come in all shape or form. I've seen them. Sometimes they come like super swagger. I remember I looked at one and she just loves balance. I'm like, can you imagine this retard, grown ass woman? Whatever torture I go, look at you, trash ass. It's like, now we mapped it. I was like, oh God, yeah, you've been mapping it. That's why there's so many pedos in these agencies. They rewire the brain. Last night they were making me think of this baby of this girl I had interest with. Then they were comparing to a woman I was with who was a perp, and try to like correlate those things together. And it's like, now we mapped it. Oh, trash us. Please leave this nasty low lifeness. I understand why they love this. The empowerment they got of it. I'm powerless because I understand the reality of what this is. I know as retarded as childlike these people are, of course they're just the bottom feeders. At the end of the day, the government is running this program. Department of Defense, the N National D for Defense, yes, that D, is the entities running this program. They use childlike retard with no self-respect. It's like, oh no, I program, I defend. You see who's that? Look at some weird. Look at this damn mess. I had this cop over there. They use the law enforcement, and you see them being clowns too. It's like, oh, you might be. It's like, yeah, now I might be. I'm for sure identified. You're obviously not doing the pedophilia type of torture, especially now that I know there's a whole bill called National Defense Network Abuse Act. Of course, I might be more than ever. They tell me how they're gonna rape me because they implanted some drugs, some whatever it is, child porn drugs, this is some foul things. I'm like, what? When you come in, I'll make sure to be listening to the bill, right? I'll open the door for you guys and go find what you hit. Then you can watch me go through all that. But one thing is for sure, I am never gonna give them the luxury of anything. I know my brain right now is being manipulated. It's being shaped to think in these different ways. But before that, I'm glad I was able to record. When I hear myself and be able to express what's happening to me, I'm surprised I'm able to articulate it. I hope this video is articulate enough for me to express myself. Let me just repeat that. As a target individual, what we are is we're test subject. The government is using us to utilize this 21st century weapon system. It attacks the mind and the body. My body is destroyed. My body is being destroyed by them. My organs are being destroyed. It's so funny. They tell me how I'm going to be stabbed and everything else, and I'm going to get HIV. Right now, I don't have HIV, but my body is wasting away because they have destroyed my organs. So I'm like, you should tell me that when I'm healthy. Then I'll be like, no. But talk about somebody who's already dying. So they are creating theatrics of torture because the humiliation of reality, I put that in their face all the time. So as a target individual, they destroy my organs, but my mind is being completely rewired. They're rewiring thought process, which is what they can do. This brain, this technology can take over your brain. Somehow, they have created a device in the 60s, I believe, or some around that. They started this work in the 60s, the Department of Defense. Today, is so sophisticated beyond it. But the concept of how they do this thing is they're able to capture your brain frequency by creating a device that can mimic your signal, your brain signals. Once this device has mimicked your signal, your brain signal, you are connected to that device. You're locked in with that device. Now, what they can do, because they have locked in your brain signal to that, they can manipulate you in so many ways. They can make you have sensation, stimulation, all kind of reactions. This is the easy part, apparently. The most sophisticated part is the thought. The most sophisticated part is the manipulation of thoughts. That's when it becomes more and more sophisticated. That's where we're in now. Deep thought manipulations. They are, first of all, today, currently in real time, forcing me to have nasty reaction toward these kids, babies of all ages. That's why they want to go to use that joke to say, no, but you see, when you said that, it was like, oh my gosh, it's like me. Changing the narrative of that to make me acceptable of today experience. Matter of fact, they're like, no, it's not even a joke, it's a phrase. This comical phrase to me that I just related to that so much. This wasn't stupidity. Somebody came and like, it's not a joke, it's a phrase. I'm a clown ass. They have no shame, because what's happening today via this technology, they're forcing me this reaction towards these babies. And this joke says something I was old enough to be, and there's something I heard, and so they're like, oh, you see, that's because that's true. Matter of fact, when I said that, it stimulated me. And so this lowlife, who are contracted by governmental entities, they are implementing this technology onto us. That's what you call perps. Their job, as the civilians contracted by these governmental entities, is to apply this technology onto you, to attacking your body and your mind, and truly push you to think in this retarded way. And they use these perps in your ecosystem, and you have this V2K interaction. V2K permits the individual to pipe in their voices into your brain. With me, the voices are so cringy, because you can obviously hear them trying to sound a certain way. They want to sound this mystical way. When they're just clowns that you see in person, like, you're fucking nothing. But I am a target individual. I'm a test subject. But even though you are the nothing, even though you're nobody, matter of fact, you have to stoop to, if you're something at this point, you have to be a nothing. Even though you're that, I am a test subject for these DoD entities. So you can feel special, but you're truly a retard. But the way they interact with you, and I've seen some of these people who quote unquote interact with you, they talk like that, but you see them just some, oh my gosh, fragile trash. Come in all shape or form. I look at them like, Jesus. You couldn't even, oh my gosh. I remember seeing this trash and she just tried to be badass. I looked at her for 2 seconds, did this. She lost balance. That's how fragile this shit's are. I've seen some people come in the hallway via V2K. I swear you think she's like a badass. She looks sickly. I'm like, this one. Even her voice, I was like, oh my gosh, you're not well. But in my head, when they can pipe in their voices, the dog is gonna be a hell. Oh Jesus, this is crazy. But that, you gotta understand the reality. There's a contrast here. Regardless of how these perps look like, whatever they are, the contrast is, at the end of the day, you are a guinea pig in a program led by the government. Everything can happen to you. Everything. Because you are used as a guinea pig. You are like in an open air lab right now. But everything around you is controlled. And then they do everything possible to make you accepting of it. Right now, what they do is like, but don't remember what you did as a kid. I'm like, first, they try to mix things around, be like, oh, because you remember what you did as a kid, that's true. It's like, that's abuse. I'm like, yo, this trash, the humiliation of the testimonials of what they do to children, it's over. The reason why they try to put things together in this way is because this trash tortured children too. And they're supposed to create this profile of you. It's like, now, but remember what you did as a kid. Oh, that joke, that joke there, you see? And then like, yeah. So today when I see these little babies, it's like, now enacted. Die in hell. Oh my God, I'd rather die in hell, you retard. Just rewrite in my brain this way. You talk about me as in high school, hearing a joke. Then you talk about me in middle school, trying to exaggerate something I did as a child. 13, 14 years old. These trash are renowned to be torturing children. The entities that run this program are filled with so many pedophiles that create a bill. Because they were using the computers given to them by the government to download so much child porn, so much of it. They were considered top-tier child porn traffickers using government network, internet network, specifically DoD. I can hear every time that I hear 4, right? I'm supposed to be around 4, pay 4. Yo, they torture a 4-year-old Down syndrome child using this 21st century weapon system that utilize these energy weapons onto a child that's 4 years old with Down syndrome. Now all they talk about is I'm going to be tortured, I'm going to drown, I'm going to be hung, I'm going to be okay. You see how I blessed you? How can they just stay strong? They are trying to recreate reality and they have no shame. And even when it sounds retarded, they want to be like, you got this. Now the satisfaction of what's going to happen to me is going to happen regardless. But they are clowns, and they tell me I'm going to be serving because they're going to frame me. It's like, of course, people who can do these things to even children. This trash, they tell me I'm going to serve as if it's like validation for them. Or there's two things they try to do. They try to deflect, or they try to make themselves be like, oh, you see, you're going to serve, so that's proof. I'm like, no, you're going to frame me. You who torture women and children, you who rewire the brain in this way, you who work for governmental entities that are so pedophilia-centric, there's a whole bill. You're going to frame me. And you're going to frame me using your fucking retards that you're grooming. Or they try to be like, oh, no, think about you being... Yeah, do your nastiness. But before that, I'll make sure I put that in your face. Let's go. I know the blessing of this loser is going to be magical. Me, I got to be strong because they're going to create a theatric of torture. The reason why I'm going to be tortured whatever way they want me to be tortured is because I put that in their faces. And they will try to talk about like, they'll stare. When you look at this loser, can't even weak shit like that. Say Roy Moore. You can't even say that, huh? Do you understand how bottom Peter you are? Losery of human beings. In my brain, they try to rewire everything. Can't say Roy Moore. But when you talk yes, you'll serve. You can do everything you can do to me because they put me in this program. I'm a test subject. Like you do everything you want to this for kids, these babies. Bunch of low life trash. Target individuals stay strong.